And well, my name is Jose David Bañuelos Aquino. I got an mechatronics engineer and also an IT master. And right now I'm studying my PhD on information technology too. And well, right now I'm the founder of QTeam, and quantum computing simulator with basis in the cloud. And our mission is to become in your team of physics, mathematics, and IT engineers that you need to get involved in this new computational paradigm. And our mission is be the bridge between the classic computing and the quantum computing. And how do we do that? Well, we organize some events with focus in the quantum computing in partnership with some universities like the Guadalajara University or the University of Atemajac Valley, in which we offer some workshops, some tutorials of how to get involved in this new computational paradigm, which are the main topics of the quantum physics that allow us to make this kind of computing and start to work with some algorithms using QTeam. And also, we assist at some international events like Carla or Cybertic, in which all the Latin American and the Caribbean community comes to get news in the HPC paradigm and the quantum computing paradigm. So also some people come to us for the social media with some questions about how to develop some projects that they have in their minds. So we give them all the knowledge and all that they need to start in this new computational paradigm. And also, these people sometimes finish their jobs presenting his results in the events that I mentioned before. So right now, we are ready to go with the enterprises and talk with them about their business needs and see how to overcome it with quantum computing. And this is what we do. And yep.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Fascinating stuff. So, David, first question. When you look at where you are now and the journey that you've taken into quantum technology, what would you say has been the most defining moment that sparked your journey?
Oh, that's a little funny question because, well, when I was a student, I went to a symposium of high performance computing. And when I were there, I get in love with that computational paradigm. And when I back to my university, I start a club of HPC in which we make some projects. And one of the most successful was build an HPC cluster using all the old computers of the library. And then when one day when I was walking with a friend, he told me or asked me, uh, "You that know much about HPC, what do you know about quantum computing?" And my reaction in that moment was, "What the heck is quantum computing?" I have no idea in that moment. And when I return to my home, I start to read some articles, some papers, see some videos and things like that. And I think, well, this got potential. This is good. And in that moment, when I get my next date with my my thesis assessor, um, I ask him because in that moment we are working with a HPC cluster to process the information that comes for a project of a certain project called Minerva. And I asked him, uh, what do you know about quantum computing? And the face that he delivered me was like a and I remember that he say, "Qué belleza, such a beautiful thing." And after a little talk about quantum computing, and when he see my enthusiasm with this, he say me, "Do you know that we will have to restart your project from zero?" And I say in that moment, "Yes, I want to know more about this." And I guess that was the definitive moment of when I make my transition to the quantum computing.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. That's really great to hear. Next question.
Mm-hmm.
Quantum is often described as the next technical revolution. Okay, that's about
Okay.
take over the world. In your
Exactly.
view, what do you see will be its most transformative impact on society in the next decade?
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, I guess the security is one of the most important things that we will see how will be transformed, because the most of the algorithms that we use to secure our systems uses the decomposition of prime numbers. So using quantum computing, we can resolve that very quickly. So this is one of the most points that we will see how will be uh, refactored, because we will need post-quantum security algorithms. And also we will see how we'll be able to process huge volumes of data to deliver different kinds of things like stellar maps, logistics, ways, things in the pharmaceutical industries, and things like that. But I know that we will see how new online services will be appear, and how will be appear more business based with the online services that approach the processing data of the quantum computing.
That's great. Reflecting on that, do you see any particular industry or impact on an industry first,
Uh-huh.
besides petrochemical? Do you think, it will affect other industries, or do you think it will be the chemical industry first?
Mm, maybe the chemical industries, or maybe are the financial sector, because they really need this kind of potential of process data, and that usually they are the first adopters in this kind of technologies.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
chemical, the pharmaceutics, uh, the government, and the financial sector.
Are there any ways that you think businesses can prepare today for that future?
Um, that's a good question. Maybe some, well, as in each industrial revolution, maybe many industries will be prepared. Maybe others not, but we will have to find the consolation point, the point in which, okay, I'm not ready, but I know maybe some consultancy industries that can bring us to this new kind of computational paradigm. Or, well, some industries will maybe they have to transform the way in that their business works to adopt this new computational paradigm.
Okay, thank you. Um, Next question, David. So
Mhm.
think about scaling quantum from the lab to the real world
Okay.
application is a huge challenge that so many companies and organizations or individuals are facing at the moment. That's a big industry perspective. What would you say the biggest barrier is that you face personally, and how have you overcome it?
Okay. Um, First, in general terms, I want to talk about the first barrier that we have uh, in all the world at this moment. I guess it's the quantum hardware, because actually at this moment uh, the quantum machines works in a similar using little circuits that use superconductors to build transmons that are a little piece of hardware that performs the quantum operations, but in a very similar, or similar or analogous way that the old computers use the bulb transistors to perform the logic operations. So in the same way, we are making a very basic operation at this moment. But that's why, because our machines at this moment are not achieve its full potential. We are in the first phase of the quantum computing, and I get of course I guess that the way in which we can overcome this barrier is make more investigation, is work with more with these machines, and when we will get more people working with this, we will now new ways to process data and to becoming better machine. Well, to sorry,
It's okay.
a better way in which we can approach these machines. So
That's okay.
in
How do you think collaboration will play in overcoming that barrier then?
which collaboration? At this moment, one of the most competitive machines at this moment is the IBM one, because well, they got a very huge roadmap in which they want to interconnect very many quantum computings in a way some similar like a cluster, but it's not the only one, because we have other enterprises that make his kind of machines like SpinQ, that they use another kind of technologies that uses superconductors, but with a ambiental witness. And well, it will be very good to see how the evolution of these machines, because well, at this moment we use superconductors, but maybe in some years will appear new rivals that uses another kind of technologies, and yeah, that will be interesting to see how evolved this
I could
computational part.
definitely see a point of view there. And obviously, there's multiple modalities now that different organizations are running with. And ambient temperature-based systems are very interesting just
Yeah,
from the energy consumption,
exactly.
and also rare resources for magnets and superconducting and things like that as well. So that's quite interesting. Um, Next question.
So before I want to add another bullet of the last question.
Yeah, of course. Let's
Yeah,
re-expand the previous question then. What are your thoughts?
yeah. I want to talk some about my personal challenge in this moment, my personal challenge in quantum computing at the moment. Some years ago, when I was a student, when I started to work with computational paradigm, I start. In a moment I get well, I wanted to process information, because I was working, well, at this moment, my investigation line is in the developing of artificial intelligence system that use inferential reasoning to inferential reasoning with basis in the quantum logic. So I was thinking how to obtain some results when I want to present in a symposium. And the simulators that I use in that moment has many troubles, because I need to enter one by one all my inputs and capture one by one all my outputs and things like that. And I was thinking, okay, what are my options? The other option that I got is use one of the AAA industries, but I have to learn a very difficult frameworks to work, and not more most important, I got to spend a lot of money to process that. So in that moment I was thinking, okay, that's not an option for me. It wasn't cool to have a simulator easy to use and with well, easy to use and easy to operate them. So I guess the most obvious revelation of all the times, I was a developer, so I started to think how to simulate all the quantum gates, the controlled gates, and the process that needs to be to build a quantum computing algorithm. And then I think, well, that's occurred in the pandemic time. I was in the middle of the night, and I think, well, this could be a very good project. And I wake up and I start to code, and after two or three cups of coffee after, I get a little library that I tested using my previous experiments, and I get the same results in minutes that I get before in some like a 2 or 3 weeks. And I say, well, maybe this is a very good project for my master. In that moment, I wanted to start my master, and also was the beginning of the Q team because
Oh, fantastic. So you've timed your funding with Q Team as you've experimented for your thesis around that to do your masters by the sounds of it. That's
exactly.
wonderful. Just thinking about this whole question, if you had unlimited resources, how would you accelerate the process?
If I get unlimited resources, mm, may maybe at this moment, the best way to accelerate the process maybe is finding new ways to or new algorithms that allow me to perform the operations that I want to make, because well, sometimes the technology is there but the algorithm is not the most optimistic. So I guess that was the very best way to accelerate the process.
So you'd focus on algorithm development then
Yeah.
around that. Okay, interesting, interesting. Okay, next question, David.
Yep.
And think about if you could give one piece of advice to the next generation of quantum innovators that are coming up behind and walking the path that you've laid out over there, what would it be?
Okay. If I can give an advice to the next generation is stay curious, because you don't know which random talking with a friend or which random idea in a sleepless night will maybe change your life and maybe the life of the other persons. Because well, that was my case. I started in the quantum computing when I was walking with a friend and with a random ask with a random question. And well, as I told you before, uh, the idea of QTeam was born in a sleepless night in the pandemic time. So stay curious, because if you get these ideas with the technology that you got in your mind, maybe will become in a very great experiences.
Do you think there's any skills outside of physics and engineering that you think are critical?
Mm, yeah, the collaboration between the physics and the engineers is very necessary, because may the because the advantage of the physics will put the well, it's like that you put all the things that you can give, the physics put all these things, and the engineers take them and build new technologies, new things. And well, it's very important.
Let me rephrase that. Are there any skills in addition to physics and engineering, separate? Physics
Okay.
and engineering are traditional educated ways into quantum computing.
Okay.
Are there any other skills that are good to have or expertise?
Okay. And another skills, or okay. Uh, well, is sometimes, well, it's very necessary have to soft skills. You have to learn how to communicate that ideas that you have, because sometimes you will have the best idea for a best product, but if you don't know how to make understand to the other people what you keep in your mind, it's maybe you don't. It's necessary, because if you can't communicate, you are alone, and in this world, you need to be a person that makes teamwork.
I think you're right there. Communication skills is one of the most strongest, but actually
Yeah.
undertrained skills that are out there. You would think we teach people how to speak their language, their native language, and often other languages, but we
Okay.
don't actually teach our children how to communicate with others in school, and how that should be done is very critical, especially in technical fields where you will have multiple disciplinary teams, and that requirement to get communication is really essential. So I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Next question then, David, and our final question. Looking ahead at collaboration, or what collaboration or breakthrough excites you the most in the future of quantum?
Okay, well, first of all, Quantum People and Q Team, I know that we will make extraordinary things together. And also, at this moment, we can find many efforts that come from some startups, some AAA industries, and I'm sure that we will see many unexpected collaboration, like we see in the past, when we have I remember the example of IBM and Compaq and things like that. So I'm excited to see what I'm sure that we will see many unexpected collaboration in the next decade. And so I'm excited to see what the people are going to create with quantum computing in the next decades. So well, we are in the first steps of the quantum computing era. So
Are there any particular breakthroughs that stand out to you? Is there any particular area where you think that's exciting if we can crack that?
well, I get that the moment that we all are waiting for the quantum supremacy, when when a quantum computing will achieve its all potential. That will be a very excited moment that I'm expected at this moment.
Yeah, a lot of people look to Q Day, but quantum supremacy is another post where you're fully realizing the potential. You know, that is an exciting and very futuristic society that will be in there, and it could come quickly. So, David, thank you for your time. We've really enjoyed our time with you and listening to your answers today, and you know, we appreciate you sharing your experience here. It's been wonderful to have you on the episode. You know, we really value that, and we wish Q Team the very best of luck.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for the invitation. And well, we hope to start a very good collaboration.